Maya,
Maya,
the external nature.
the external nature.
Ratuhu,
Ratuhu,
brothers.
brothers.
Puraha,
Puraha,
from the palace.
from the palace.
Marmasu,
Marmasu,
in the core of the heart.
in the core of the heart.
Tarikaha,
Tarikaha,
being afflicted.
being afflicted.
Api,
Api,
in spite of.
in spite of.
Saha,
Saha,
he, Vidura.
he, Vidura.
Ittam, like this.
Like this.
Ati Ulbana,
Ati Ulbana,
severely.
severely.
Karna,
Karna,
ear.
ear.
Banaihi,
Banaihi,
by the arrows.
by the arrows.
Gatavyataha,
Gatavyataha,
without being sorry.
without being sorry.
Taya,
Taya,
excited.
excited.
Uru,
Uru,
great.
great.
Manayanaha,
Manayanaha,
so thinking.
so thinking.
Translation and purport by Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada.
Jai Sri Prabhupada.
Thus being pierced by arrows through his ears and afflicted to the core of his heart, Vidura placed his bow on the door and quit his brother's palace. He was not sorry, for he considered the acts of the external energy to be supreme. Please repeat the translation. Thus being pierced
Thus being pierced
by the arrows
by the arrows
through his ears
through his ears
and afflicted to the core of his heart,
and afflicted to the core of his heart,
Vidura placed his bow
Vidura placed his bow
on the door
on the door
and quit his brother's palace.
and quit his brother's palace.
He was not sorry,
He was not sorry,
for he considered
but he considered
the acts of the external energy
the acts of the external
to
energy
be supreme.
to be supreme.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada.
Jai Sri Prabhupada.
A pure devotee of the Lord is never perturbed by an awkward position created by the external energy of the Lord. In Bhagavad Gita 3.27 it is stated, Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasaha ahankara vimudatma kartaham iti manyate. A conditioned soul is absorbed in material existence under the influence of different modes of external energy. Absorbed in the false ego, he thinks that he is doing everything by himself. The external energy of the Lord, the material nature, is fully under the control of the Supreme Lord, and the conditioned soul is fully under the grip of the external energy. Therefore, the conditioned soul is fully under the control of the law of the Lord. But due to illusion only, he thinks himself independent in his activities. Duryodhana was acting under the such influence of the external nature, by which he would be vanquished at the ultimate end. He could not accept the sound advice of Vidura, but on the contrary, he insulted that great soul who was the well-wisher of his whole family. Vidura could understand this because he was a pure devotee of the Lord. In spite of being very strongly insulted by Duryodhana's words, Vidura could see that Duryodhana, under the influence of Maya, the external energy, was making progress on the path towards his own ruination. He therefore considered the acts of the external energy to be supreme. Yet, he also saw how the internal energy of the Lord helped him in that particular situation. A devotee is always in a renounced temperament because the worldly attractions can never satisfy him. Vidura was never attracted by the royal palace of his brother. He was always ready to leave the place and devote himself completely to the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Now, he got the opportunity by the grace of Duryodhana, and instead of being sorry at the strong words of himself, he thanked him from within because it gave him the chance to live alone in a holy place and fully engage in the devotional service of the Lord. The word Gatavyataha, without being sorry, is significant here because Vidura was relieved from the tribulations which trouble every man entangled in material activities. He therefore thought that there was no need to defend his brother with his bow because his brother was meant for ruination. Thus, he left the palace before Duryodhana could act. Maya, the supreme energy of the Lord, acted here both internally and externally. Thus ends the Bhakti-Vedanta. Om Ajnana-Timirandasya Jnana-Janashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu-Padaya Krishna-Preshaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti-Vedanta Swamini Namane. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschal Deshadharine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Vidura's response to Duryodhana's harsh words is explained in this verse. Swayam Dhanurdhari Nidaya Maya. Swayam, he himself, Vidura, Dhanurdhari, his bow, Dhwari, at the door he has placed it, and Nidaya, he left. Treating what? Maya. And all this is because of the external energy of the Lord, influence of Maya. Bratuh Puraha, where did he leave? The palace of Dhritarashtra. He left the palace and went away. Marmasu Tadito api. That words, whatever he has spoken by Duryodhana, that Marmasu Tadita, he is very much inflicted to the core of his heart. Even though he was inflicted, still, Saitam Ati Ulpana Karnabane, that words which have been emanated from the mouth of Duryodhana were like arrows, which pierced through the ears of Karna Bana. The Bana went through the Karna and it pierced the heart. Ati Ulpana, they are all very harsh words, very difficult for a person to digest. Gatavyataha, that without being sorry, Aya Guru Manayanaha. He left that place being very excited that he got an opportunity to associate with transcendently elevated people and to associate with the Supreme Lord in transcendental holiness. Taking in a positive way rather than getting affected in a negative way, trying to take revenge or to get carried away to sit in one corner and cry. Vidura did not do any of these things. He treated the event as the mercy of the Lord through Duryodhana, that he will be able to detach from this family entanglement, that he will be able to associate with saintly persons, serve the Lord at pilgrimage places, and he can become purified by the association what he had through this negativity. He is trying to purify the association or impact of this Dussanga, whatever he had because of this negative mentality, people of Duryodhana, Dhritarashtra, Shekuni, and all the others in that Kuru assembly. So, a couple of points from the purport for us to understand. This Vidura's immediate response and feelings. What was Vidura's immediate response and feelings? Being pierced by the arrows through his ears and afflicted to the core of his heart, Vidura placed his bow on the door and quit his place. The first thing what he did, he placed the bow, and he thought he was there to protect his brother. When he understood the situation that his brother doesn't require his protection, that he is ready for ruination or destruction, then he thought he is of no use there. So he left his bow and left the palace. Vidura, deeply hurt by the statements of Duryodhana, left his brother's palace thinking of acts of external energy as supreme. Daiva Maya Vimohita. The Daivi Maya has Vimohita, has illusion or bewildered all these people. So he thought the external energy is more supreme. The acts of Maya are very supreme. So he thought there is no point in trying to save them because they are already on the path of destruction. They are digging their own grave. So who can save them? Then what was his internal transcendental attitude? This was the external attitude what he had displayed. What was going on in his mind as an internal attitude? He was not sorry, for he considered the acts of external energy to be supreme. Because Vidura being a pure devotee, you could see that Duryodhana was completely illusioned under the effect of external energy. Prakriti Kriyamanani, Prabhupada quotes this sloka and he says, Ahankara Vimudatma Kartaham iti manyate. That Vimuda, those who are foolish people out of Ahankara, egoism, so they consider that I am the doer. So which is actually carried out by materialism. Under the influence of Maya, Dhritarashtra was heading towards ruination, and as internal energy it helped Vidura to focus on devotional service of the Lord. So Maya, for the Lord there is no difference between material and spirit. The same energy can act like matter, the same energy can act like spirit. So the same energy of Daivi Maya, it is acting as Mahamaya for conditioned souls, and for pure devotees it is acting as Daivi Maya, internal potency. because he saw this simultaneous arrangement of the internal energy to help him engage in transcendental loving service. And Vidura was relieved from the tribulations which trouble every man entangled in material activities. Because family life, entanglement, the result, consequences, all people will get carried away by this. Like if Vidura would have been there with Dhritarashtra, what would have happened? The war was inevitable, so war has to be fought. So in that war, he has to see there all his kinsmen either side being dead, being family related. He has some pain he has to experience, seeing there, standing there, and that feelings. So he is saying, I am free from all these. The consequences. If I am attached to the family, I am attached. I am carried away by their relationship values. If I am detached from the family, I am not bothered what happens. So in that way, he is thinking, this is better for me. So here, couple of things we have to focus upon about Duryodhana's context and Vidura's context. Vidura, such a pure devotee, why he has been scolded and put it into a negative manner? So how Vidura was treating such situation? So pure devotees generally they take whatever either good or bad as a mercy of the Lord upon them, and second thing they treat it is their own doing. Satyanukampa susubhikshamanaha bunjana evatma kritam vipakam. It is atma krita vipakam. This is my own doing, it is not something else. I have to suffer for my mistakes, for my past sinful activities I am suffering. And it is the mercy of the Lord. He has cut down this process. So according to my karma, I should have lost my hand. But Krishna had made it in a simple way with a finger cut. He has managed the entire way. That is anukampa of Krishna. Compassion and mercy of the Lord. Because a devotee is naturally humble and meek, he accepts any condition of his life as a blessing from the Lord. A devotee always accepts punishment from anyone as the mercy of the Lord. If one lives in this conception of life, he sees whatever reverses occur to be due to his past misdeeds, and therefore he never accuses anyone. He never blames, you are the cause of my situation. He says, I am the cause of my situation. He takes everything for on himself. A successful leader, generally they say, is the one, when there is a failure, he accepts the responsibility on himself personally. When there is a success, he gives credit to others. He does not take responsibility there. But because of me, we won, like a match. A game is going on. When a defeat is there, game means there will always be victory and defeat. When there is victory, he says today team has played very nicely. He gives credit to all the teammates. When there is a failure, they take credit on personal self, that he was not able to take proper decisions, that's why they are not able to win the match. So that he is a proper person. Like the devotees also, when there is problem, they never claim somebody else has a responsibility. They take because of my own doing, I am suffering or enjoying. So they always give credit to the opposite people. They always take the best part of opposite person. So while trying to understand these negative aspects, I was reading one purport by Jiva Goswami, where he mentions 5 things which are obstacles for one who is practicing bhakti. The first thing was Kautilya, crookedness. Second one was Ashraddha, faithlessness. Third one was Bhagavan Nishtha Cha Chavakas, means attachment to things that destroy faith in the Lord. Fourth one was Bhakti Stylium, slackness in devotional service. since we are all practitioners. So these things we have to be conscious enough. We should try to avoid all these things. How they impact? These are all based on from Bhagavatam, various aspects we are trying to understand. Crookedness. What does crookedness mean? An English definition of crookedness? Very cruel, cunning, diplomatic. All these technical terms we can say. The example of this is given through Duryodhana. When Duryodhana, he had invited Lord Krishna to honor food at his place. Krishna did not accept that offering because it was filled with crookedness. He wanted to offer bhakti to Krishna, and at the same time he wanted to offend his devotees. He wants to attack his devotees. He wants to injure his devotees, and he wants to kill his devotees. That's why Krishna did not accept that bhakti which is meant with crookedness. So crookedness here means to engage in devotional service while committing offences to the Supreme Lord, the Vedas, the spiritual master, or the devotees. This is the first aspect. We want to advance in bhakti, but simultaneously we want to put others down. A literal one more example we can take. See, all these are some are interrelated, like Daksha. He was engaging in a sacrifice, but his intention was he wanted to put down Lord Shiva. Crookedness, enviousness. Second one. So they foolish and crooked-hearted sinners do not attain success in bhakti to Lord Krishna. They cannot properly glorify and remember the Lord. Even if they try, they cannot properly glorify or remember the Lord. Those who are crooked in nature. Faithlessness. When one hears or directly sees the glories of the Lord, one does not believe that they are true. This is faithlessness. Duryodhana's response on seeing the Lord's universal form is one of the many examples of this kind of faithlessness. Krishna displayed universal form when he came as a messenger. He wanted to show how supreme he was, but after seeing the universal form, Duryodhana said he is a magician. He is a statesman, he is a magician, all these things he said. He did not want to accept the supremacy of him. That's why it is called faithlessness. Ashraddha dana. This is explained even in Bhagavad Gita 9.3. Somebody can read that verse. Ashraddha dana purusha dharmasyasya parantapa aprapyamam nivartante mrityu samsara vatman. For those who are faithless towards the instructions of the Lord, they are put into the cycle of birth and death. So for this they say devotees like Prahalada received special protection from the Lord because he has faith in the words of the Lord. But persons who have no faith in the Lord do not do so. Because they had faith when he was thrown from the mountains. He was saved from all the circumstances what Prahalada has gone through. Because he has staunch faith on the Lord, he was saved from that situation. And they say a small story. There was a person who had a doubting faith about the holy name of Lord Rama. So he was asking Vibhishana how stones could float on the ocean. And Vibhishana said that is the power and glory of the holy name. You are saying it is more than Lord's holy name is more powerful than the Lord. So like that he was having that doubting tendency. So Vibhishana brought one leaf, written Lord Rama's name on the leaf, folded it and gave it to that person, and he said, now you walk on the ocean. And because he had faith in Vibhishana, he started walking on the ocean, and he was not drowning at all. Wherever he went, the ocean was only up to his knee. Then when he went into the center of the ocean, then he understood what is there in the leaf, let me see. When he opened the leaf, it said it is literally Lord Rama. When he saw the name of Lord Rama, old idea, how can Rama be more powerful? Immediately Nam again he drowned in the ocean. So when you are faithless, so you cannot advance in bhakti. Faith is very important. Third, so the obstacles that one may fall away from faith in the Lord is given in the words of Bhagavatam where Bharat Maharaj, he got attracted to the deer cub. He was so fascinated by the deer cub that he started forgetting the rituals and commitment what he has taken to worship the Lord daily. So he was so engrossed, and at the last moment, instead of thinking of Hari, he was thinking of that Harina. Harina means the deer. So that is, these are the obstacles. Attachment to material things take away our faith from the Lord. This is the third aspect. Sometimes we also see people, they become so attached to that. Sannyasi is one who has renounced everything. But sometimes people become so attached that they become carried away by their danda and kamandala. They think it is my property. They start fighting for some of these things. Danda, kamandala means they get carried away by these material attachments. So it is it's an obstacle for us for advancing in bhakti. Then fourth one, slackiness while performing acts of bhakti. It may be because of some past offenses, past attitude, past training. The slackness comes from all our old habits. Gajendra and others fell into materialistic way of life because of offenses they committed. Not of that Gajendra became an animal. Maybe this is an external reason. Maybe some internal reasons are there. Lord wanted to take him back because of his serious bhakti. But when he is practicing bhakti, a Muni has come to his place, Indrajimna's place. Indrajimna had not responded. Knowingly or unknowingly, we don't know. So the other person felt it like it's an offense for me. So that's why he was cursed to become Gajendra, an elephant. So because of slackness in performing bhakti, one experiences material happiness or sufferings caused by oneself and others. He starts reacting to situations. Either he takes credit himself or he blames others. Either he becomes happy or he experiences sadness. So in one Vishnu Sahasranama Stotra it says, there is no actually inauspicious condition is ever imposed on the devotees of Lord Vasudeva, and therefore they do not fear having taken birth in this world again to suffer the miserable conditions of old age, disease and death. Means devotees of the Lord, they are never sorry for the situation. These material things cannot hamper their determination in practicing bhakti. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, it cannot impact their devotional service. Like even in Bhagavatam, 2nd canto, 3rd chapter, every sunrise and sunset, it Ayu Arati, Vai Pumsam. Every sunrise and sunset, one day of our life is stolen away by sun. But for devotees, it cannot steal away because wherever they are there, their devotional service continues. So like that. Some other Puranas also there is a mention. There is one Kartika Mahatmya. There is a Purana where it explains about the glories of Damodara month. So during Damodara month we light lamps, diya, and rats are very much fascinated by that ghee. What retains in that diya? They want to eat that ghee. Out of that greediness, they come forward even though that bhakti is still burning. One rat came forward and picked up that bhakti, which is still burning and there is ghee to it. When he started eating that ghee was spread out along its mouth, and that bhakti is still burning, and because of that fire, his mouth and body started burning. This is in front of the deity. So when there is a burns on the body, what you try to do? You try to roll over so that the fire is extinguished. So it started rolling over. So it is like offering an arati to the Lord. And Lord treated in such a way, the next moment, this rat became a four-handed form and went back to Vaikuntha. And one more story is also there in some other place. This is in Varanasi. They say one rat, it was trying to eat one batti. When rat came to eat batti, a cat came to eat that rat. But seeing that rat started running around the altar. In the meantime, when there is a heavy force, the flame will be engulfing. Means there is an air pressure, that flame will be much faster. And when it is running around, it is doing 3 times pradakshina with the flame burning its body. Lord treated it as it is offering its own body as an arati to me by doing 3 times pradakshina. So when it died, Lord gave him a mukti form and took him back home to back home. So Lord is seeing the positive aspect. So this is the power of bhakti. It defeats all the unwanted things, malice, and it is the counteraction for offenses. But those who are proud of their advancement in bhakti, they commit offenses. Gamanta, ahankara, mada, all these things will impact our bhakti consciousness. We start offending people, personalities. This example can be seen in the category of Daksha, who offended Lord Shiva for the reason he had to take birth as one of the Prachetas. Next slide. If you see that entire episode, Daksha was very angry because everybody got up, but Lord Shiva did not get. He was seeing material considerations. Spiritually, Lord Shiva is the highest of the personalities. Even Lord Brahma, who is father of Lord Shiva, treats Lord Shiva as a superior personality. Vaishnavanam yata shambho. Bhagavatam glorifies. Lord Krishna glorifies among Vaishnavas. Lord Shiva is the greatest. In the 11th canto, Uddhav Gita, Krishna is saying this. But Daksha was thinking, because I have given my daughter to Lord Shiva is subordinate to me, material position. But Lord Shiva was at that time, what he was saying, he was under meditation. He was already meditating upon the Supreme Lord. He was offering all his respects to the Supreme Lord. So when you get up or when you offer respects, is it to the person who are we offering? Is it to the Paramatma are we offering? Whom are we offering these respects? When we offer respects by offering Dandavat in front of a senior devotee or in front of Acharya, generally whom are we offering? To the person or to the Paramatma? So this is the Paramatma. That's why when Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, when somebody comes and offers him Dandavat, he used to say Dasosmi. I am yours. But I am servant of the Paramatma. You are offering respects to my Paramatma in my heart, I am offering respects to Paramatma in your heart. Need not be that I have to offer Dandavat. By words he is. So Daksha was in that material tense. And because of that, he had to take one more birth. After taking one more birth, again he offended Arjuna. उसका 11,000 बच्चों को ब्रह्मचारी बना दिया, सन्यासी बना दिया, उसको गुस्सा आ गया. 11,000 sons. Again he cursed Narada. You cannot stay at one place. Narada said, thank you very much. Now I go and preach everybody and make everybody brahmacharis. Earlier I was making here and there. Now because of your curse, now I make everyone, I go everywhere and I make everyone brahmacharis. Positive spirit. Positive thinking. So, okay, this is from Duryodhana's perspective, how he has destroyed himself. Now, from the Virdhura's perspective, what he did, was it correct or not? To leave away the house of Dhritarashtra? Or he should have been there? Or he should have left? What is correct? So, Krishna recommends in Bhagavatam, association with a great devotee is the best method of purification. Other methods can never compare to bhakti. And in 10th canto, 84th chapter, it says, mere bodies of water are not real sacred places of pilgrimage, nor are mere images of earth and stone the true worshipable deities. These purify only after a long time, but saintly sages purify one immediately upon being seen. Even in first canto also, first chapter also it is there. First canto, first chapter, second chapter. Ganges water takes long time for purification, but by associating with devotees, one is immediately purified. The same sloka in 10th canto, 84th chapter. So, what Vidura did was, as per Krishna's instruction in Uddhava Gita, Tato Dussangam Utsrijya, all the unwanted association one should quit. Satsu Sajjeta Buddhiman, one who is an intelligent person, he accepts the positive association from highly advanced personality. That's what Vidura is trying to do. Santa Evasya Chindanti. When you associate with Santa, Chindanti, what they do, they cut. What do they cut? Mano Vyasanga Mukti. All the unwanted things within our heart, they cut by their speeches. So when you hear discourses by advanced people, they immediately arouse detachment within the people who are hearing the subject. That is the capacity of the association. So regarding association, Vidura was teaching to Dhritarashtra and Vidura Niti. By association with good people or wicked, what we have this ascetic merit punya will get deprived. As one soon takes on the influence of the companion. Like if you associate with good people, you get punya. If you associate with bad people, you pick up papa. Like a cloth near a dye. Like we have sometimes our cloths. Somebody will be dyeing their cloth and next to that bucket, other cloth will have the traces of the color. So similarly, whom do we associate with? We pick up their intentions. One becomes exactly like those with whom one lives, or like those whom one serves, or like those one whose roles models are. So whom do we associate with? Whom do we serve? Or whom our role model is? We pick up their intention. Ugliness destroys beauty. Hope destroys fortitude. Death destroys life. Envy destroys righteousness. Anger destroys prosperity. Bad association destroys good behavior. Lust destroys modesty. And arrogance destroys everything. Duryodhana was arrogant. And because of his arrogance, everything is destroyed. And he was thinking physical power. All these people were there that he could easily cross over Pandavas and their army. That was his mode. I have 11 Akshomunis, they have 7. I have the greatest army of Lord Yadu Vamsha's army I have. But there is Krishna, but who doesn't take any weapon? So he was confident on his victory. Even first canto, if you see, the first chapter, Bhagavad Gita, many things he explains. Our strength is immeasurable. Their strength is measurable. We have the superior person, Bhishma. They have an insignificant person, Bhima. Like that he compares. Out of arrogance, he is putting all these statements. So, generally they say there are 5 different kinds of power. Vidura is saying, what do you say as power based on these 5 basic things? The least significant thing is physical strength. Own bala. Then, the acquisition of good counselors is regarded as a second kind. If you have good people, counselors, that is second power. The power of wealth is the third. Many people they try to do with their money power. Then the power of privilege acquired by birth is regarded as the fourth. Their birth in a rich aristocratic family. Then, however, by all this can be achieved, which is the foremost of all kinds of power, is the power of intellect. instead of what you say, the body bala or other balas, the power of intellect is the highest. We know the story of a rabbit and a lion. What did rabbit do? By his intelligence, he had killed the lion by making him jump into the well. So there they say the power of intelligence is better than physical strength. Elephant very strong physically, but mentally it is very weak. It can easily be captured. So like, so intellectual power is considered as the highest. So last minute. Because we were thinking, Indra, what was his consciousness? He was taking all this as the impact of Maya. So from Bhagavatam we see, Grihitva api indriya arthan yona dvesti na hrishyati Vishnor Maya idam pashyan savai Bhagavatottama. Who is a Bhagavatottama? Who is the best of the devotees? Who sees all these things are because of Indriya and Indriyartha. The senses are interacting with the sense objects, because of which one becomes na dvesti na krishyati. We become either distressful or we become very enjoyable. When the senses enjoy with good sense objects, you enjoy happiness. When there is a problem, you enjoy distress. All this is because of senses and its sense objects. So, Vishnor Maya idam pashyan. So he is a Bhagavatottama, one who is able to see all this is as Maya of Lord Vishnu. Different energies interacting with other energies. This is only a Vishnu Maya. He is considered to be a Bhagavatottama. That's what Vidura is trying to say. He is seeing all the situation as Vishnu Maya. And this Bhagavatottama definition is given further. He says, Visharjati Hrudayam Nayasya Sakshat Harir Avasavidito Api Abhoga Nashaha Pranaya Rasanaya Dhutangri Padmaha Sa Bhavati Bhagavata Pradhana Uttaha. Who is that Bhagavata Pradhana? One, Sakshat Harihi, one who is able to bind Lord Hari within his heart. And because Lord Hari is within his heart, what happens? Aga Auga Nashaha, all the sinful activities which are there in the heart are automatically cleansed up. And how he is able to bind Hari within his heart? Because of his devotional love. Pranaya Rasanaya, because of his love for the Supreme Lord, he is able to bind the lotus feet of the Lord within his heart. And Lord cannot move out of the heart of his devotee. That's why he is considered as Bhagavata Uttamaha. In this way, Vidura is considered as a Bhagavata Uttamaha, the best personality who is able to pursue the Lord within his heart, who is able to see everything as the energy of the Lord is acting either internally or external energy, and he is able to treat every situation in a positive way so that he will be able to advance in bhakti. He is not getting carried away by material circumstances. So, this is for today. Let us stop here. Any questions at all?
We say that we should invite the Lord to our heart so that all condemnation, whatever will go away. So is that understanding, because in our heart already Paramatma is there, so what does the statement mean? Are we establishing a relation with the Lord or something again come into the heart?
No, Bhagavatam says that place is become contaminated. See, all the unwanted things are there, filthy things are there. So Lord is there, but only thing is we are not able to perceive him in that situation. So what when we are trying to invite the Lord, we are trying to clean up that area, so that we are able to place an asana for the Lord, so that Lord can come and be seated there. So Paramatma. So the Jiva, it is said that he is like a parrot. He is like a bird eating fruits. There is one more parrot next to him. But when he leaves eating that fruits and focuses on the other parrot, then his spiritual